Hello inspiring Charitam fans. How are you doing? We bring stories that are unique and inspirational. This story is about a man who faces the dilemma between staying in an open marriage with his disability or walking away to an uncertain life. Let's hear it. Mike and Lucy were high school sweethearts. They loved each other dearly. Both were very active and were enjoying their lives. They loved adventures and took many trekking trips together. They wanted to enjoy their lives. They were also avid motorbike riders. Their passion kind of matched and were having the best 10 years of lives. They got married in 2014 after dating for 6 years. Everything was perfect and like a dream until it wasn't. In 2018, Lucy and Mike were riding a new bike together. Lucy was driving and she lost control. They both were badly injured and hospitalized. Lucy recovered after a month of treatment, but Mike was left disabled. His torso was left paralyzed and he was told that he would have to spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair. Lucy was heartbroken and guilt-ridden. She always blamed herself for fate, even though Mike assured her several times that wasn't the case. But there was another problem in their relationship. With the injury, Mike lost the sexual urge and capability. Even though they visited many doctors and therapists, nothing worked. Lucy loved Mike, but the dead bedroom was killing her. She was upset, angry, sad, and guilty. She was taking care of Mike but started to grow resentful towards her life and the situation. Mike tried his best to make things work. But Lucy was moving further away. She was missing her previous life. She basically did not sign up for the new circumstances. But it was the harsh reality. After almost 6 months of the tragic accident and dead bedroom, Lucy lost all her patience. She decided to talk with Mike. She informed Mike that even though she loved him, and ready to take care of him, for the rest of her life, she is not ready to spend her rest of the life sexless. She proposed an open marriage. She said it would be to fulfill her physical needs and no emotion. She didn't ask for discussion but was just informed. Lucy was extremely attracted to other males and just needed to escape the dead bedroom. This was obviously a one-sided open marriage because Mike was just incapable of doing anything. Mike also needed Lucy to take care of him, because he was still suffering from his injury. He didn't have a job and with the amount of disability, he could not really have much. All he had was a disability allowance. Mike was heartbroken and cried all night at his fate. Lucy cried with him but told him that it was needed for her. She can't live in misery anymore. She loved him but need her needs met as well. Mike was in no way capable of doing that then. The next evening when Lucy came back from the office, Mike said he wanted to talk with her and sat her down. Mike said, "Look, I know you didn't sign up for this. I know it is hard for you and so it is for you. I want you to know that you are not responsible for this and I have never blamed you. I have always loved you and will always do. I however cannot share you with anyone. It is just too much pain for me. I am already in so much pain, and can't really function seeing you coming home, knowing you had intimacy with someone else." Lucy was in tears and shocked at the same time. She hoped that Mike would agree to her proposal. She started sobbing and tried saying something, but Mike cut her off and continued. "In these last 6 months, did you sleep with anyone?" She was silent. Mike started sobbing and said, "I really hope you will be honest." Lucy replied yes. She said it was a one-time thing with her coworker. She realized what she was missing and thus brought the topic of open marriage. Mike was visibly disturbed and sad by then. He tried to regain his composure but lost his voice many times during the next few minutes. Lucy was crying too. She said she loved him and did it out of desperation. Mike regained his composure and said that he understood why she did it, even though he categorically dismissed it to be valid and told, had she brought the topic of open marriage before doing it with her coworker, he would have respected her even more. But he didn't blame her. Mike said, "I know, you want a better life. I loved seeing you smile, riding the bike, going for adventures, and it breaks my heart when I see you taking care of me. I love you, but I know we no longer belong together." Mike cried for a good few minutes and said, "I know, I am going to lose everything, and possibly a clever man would want you to take care of me and have your fun. But, I am not a clever man. I can never be with a person who resents you for what circumstances have turned me into. I have nothing to offer to you rather than a divorce. You can have your life, and I can live in misery. But I would prefer this misery rather than the life where you resent me." Lucy cried hysterically and said, she did not want a divorce and she never resented him. She told that the whole thing might have made her resentful towards life, but never to Mike. She cried and cried. Mike said, "I set you free, my love. That's what love does, it sets you free, it never confines you. If it does, then it was never love." Mike insisted that Lucy moves out so that he can start living his life on his own. Lucy moved out the next day crying and begging to reconsider everything, but Mike said it was for the best. Lucy tried to remain in contact with Mike but he ignored her. Lucy even tried visiting Mike every day but he told her to let him focus on his healing and asked for no contact. They filed for divorce and Lucy practically demanded nothing. She did not claim half of the house or the little asset they made over the years. She just took half of the amount in their joint account. Lucy started dating her coworker and moved in together after a few months even before the divorce, but kept reaching to Mike to know how he was doing. Few of Mike's friends and family helped him for some time. After the divorce, he left the state and moved to his parents' home. He joined therapy sessions and over the next 2 years, improved physically. He could move on his own by then. He was able to walk but with the help of some support. He was able to find a job again. He moved back to his place after 5 years. His sexual problems were also fixed. In January 2021, he came across Lucy in a shopping mall. He was in no contact with her for all these years after the divorce. Her jaw dropped when she saw him. Lucy came and hugged Mike and said how happy she was to see him. Mike just smiled. She then started crying that she was a fool not to wait for him. Mike told her no, he was a fool that he believed she will wait. This story is for those who find immensely trapped in a situation where they find no other way to agree to something which they don't like. Love sets you free. It is not fair on your partner if you can't fulfill something. However, it is equally not fair to be cheated on. So, if you can't solve a problem, instead of becoming resentful and hateful over the years, end it on good terms. You may be codependent on someone today and can't live a life without them. But remember, a life with self-respect and freedom with many other challenges is much more worthy than the constant humiliation. If you agree to set her free on open marriages, then do it out of your mutual love, trust, and respect. What do you think about the story? Please share the feedback and your suggestions. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon to get a notification whenever a new video is uploaded. Stay healthy and happy. Have a great rest of the day wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching.